Welcome to Crafty Hints. I'm Chantel. I'm so excited to have you here today for some gnome DIYs. These will be quick, budget friendly, and you won't believe how easy they are to make. Let's get crafty. Okay, we're going to start off making these 3 ornaments. They are so much easier than you even think. I grabbed these gloves last year on clearance from Walmart. They're those stretchy gloves. So you're just going to cut off the fingers. I started off by just cutting the fingers off of one glove at a time. Very simple. And then I got these from the Dollar Tree, the gray and the maroon ones. Now you'll take a finger and add just the tiniest bit of polyfill. It really doesn't take much at all. And you're going to fill a finger. So I started out with this black glove. And then I used some of those acrylic rubber bands. They're in like the hair section. Super cheap. Get a bunch of those. Got those at the Dollar Tree. Okay, so that will tie that up. So that's going to be the body. Look how easy that was. Okay, I have this faux fur, and later, a couple gnomes in, you'll see, I end up making a template, and I wish I would have done that on the very first one, but it's pretty simple. You're going to make it about 1 inch wide by about 1.5 inches long. It really could be probably about 1 inch by 1 inch. Because when you do taper that, and I'm just cutting just the backing, that's the most important part. Look, when I pull this, it's still there. If I had cut all the way through, that would have cut that edge super blunt. So you want the fur underneath to still be there, but by cutting just the backing off, you leave that extra hair coming off of all of your edges. It takes the tiniest bit on like the next layer, but not all of the hair falling down behind it. So I'm just making like a little bit of like a U shape or a V shape for the way his beard will come down. I will definitely make this a little bit simpler when I show you the template. So I apologize I didn't think of that until later, but I wanted to start with the first one I made and kind of take you along the journey here. Okay, so we're just going to put a dab of glue. Look at that. We've got the body and the beard done. Super simple. Next, I'm going to make the hat. And I realized later, I think it might have been the next one, that actually those gloves didn't really have a different texture. This year, Dollar Tree is doing their gloves inside out, which is what's giving them that other texture. So you're able to do it either way, depending on what texture you want. I just took that yarn needle and just strung that through to make my hanger. Now a little bit of polyfill. And I just wanted to glue the edge of this down because when you cut it, it does have that bumpy, ravel of how the sweater or glove comes together. Okay, just get that all straightened out. And now we'll glue the back first. And so just a little dab there. We'll start there. We'll kind of slouch it towards the back. And for our nose, we'll use a wood bead. I got a huge 1,000 or 1,200 pack off Amazon. I'll link that below if you're interested. We're going to put the hole down so that it's not showing. And then when we tip our bead back, it'll hide the top as well. You'll also want to think about how you want your hat to look. I think I end up like squishing it down a little bit and even just put a little bit of glue on the edge and push the hat down a little bit. So play with the hat, make it however you'd like it to be. That's the fun thing about creating these gnomes. You can give them a whole new personality. And then we're just going to glue all the way around the edges. And he's just about as simple as that. Isn't he adorable? Here's the next little guy we're going to make. So we're doing it just about the same, but I did flip this inside out, put a dab of glue. Actually, I flipped it right side out again. Put a dab of glue there, and I'm squishing one of the sides together, trying to just kind of make a curve. So I put a pipe cleaner in there. And we're just going to get a little bit of that curl. I was trying to decide the best way to do this. So what I ended up doing was put a little bit of glue, put the pipe cleaner down, and then I'm going to just form the glove around this, or the fingertip, just right around it. That'll help give us that little bit of a curve to this stocking cap. And just continue to play with it until you're happy with it. I kind of play with it, glue it down a little bit, twist it. Now I think a little bit more glue right here. Okay, now it did the same thing. We're going to do our hanger here. Okay, glue the beard on, and I had filled a maroon fingertip. I didn't figure you need to watch all of that again. I want to be mindful of your time and just give you the tips on things you hadn't seen quite yet. So I put a tiny bit of polyfill in there just to make the hat a little bit fuller. We'll put the glue on the back again. We'll just clip off a little bit of that. It was a little bit long. As you know, some of the fingertips are longer than others, so you may want to think about that, whether you want it to be, you know, the body or the hat, depending on what you're making it to look like. Okay, then we will put the nose in there again. Oh, we're going to fold it over first. Make it a nice finished edge. Now, this guy could have a bigger nose than the others. He could have a littler nose. You know, again, it gives them, I think a big old honking nose gives it a different personality than a smaller nose. So I'd be interested to see, you know, what you make. If you do decide to do this and you want to show it on Instagram, tag me in that. Just, you know, at Crafty Hints, and, you know, let me see what you're making. I'd love to do that. Or if you ever want to share, I'm happy to show those in my videos also. If you make your own creations, I love to show those. Okay, so we're just going to continue then to glue this around just as we did the others, or the other. But as you can see, you could give them, you know, you could make these rather quickly and make a whole set for someone as a gift. Now I took a little piece of the burgundy glove that I had snipped off, and I'm going to take a smaller bead, and I'm just going to put a dab of glue here. I'm going to wrap up that bead, and that is going to make our little pom-pom. See, waste not, want not. Little crafty hints. And I'll just keep applying a little bit of glue and putting this on there, and then I can trim off whatever has excess kind of hanging off too far. A little bit more, and I think this one's about covered. Okay, now we'll just glue it in place. And there he is. How cute is he? Ooh, his beard might have got away from him a little bit when I set him down. All right, here's the other ornament. Doesn't he kind of remind you of Santa? I thought he kind of looked like Santa. You could also do little snips of the fur, and I'm going to flip this one inside out, as you can see, and I'm going to keep it that way. I liked those inside out. I liked that texture just a little bit better. But you could take some extra little pieces and go off the sides of his nose and make a little bit of a mustache. Okay, here I am making my template. There's an inch. So yeah, it's about 1.5 inches, but you're going to round that end. And there we go. So now I'm just going to trace that right on my fur. And you just want to double check when you get to your fur what direction it's going. Again, just snipping only the back, very carefully getting under there. I've seen other people use like a razor blade. I get my fur at Hobby Lobby. I wait until their fabric is 30% off and then grab it there. It makes it super cheap and so much cheaper than the little packages of it. Okay, so again, we're just going to stuff this glove, add a little rubber band or acrylic band. And we'll just put his beard on. And I'm just going to pinch this just at the top so it gives us a little bit of an edge just to put a pom-pom on there. I'm not going to fully top it over like the gray one did. Okay, put our bead in there. Again, and kind of put it at an angle. Now, this is a little tree skirt that I got. Oh, I was going to show you could also buy these hats at Dollar Tree. I think I got that one last year. But if you can't find any faux fur or you're in a pinch, you could grab that. Now, I'm taking this off of this tree skirt as I think it will make a great band to go around his hat. I used to like to use the automotive towels, but I haven't been able to find those this year. Kind of a bummer. I did see them on their website. I don't know that I want to buy a case of them, though. Okay, this one I did differently because I forgot to put a hanger on it, which you could easily put those little metal hangers through there and bend it over, but I'm just going to do it this way. Make a little loop, then I'll come down the bottom. And then I just tied it down off the bottom there, and it was good to go. And I put a little bit of glue over it, and now I'm just going to glue the band over it. Super simple, but this gives it such a pretty finish. Now I'm not going to waste that skirt. I've got the fabric to use for other things. I can continue to use that band for other things. Now we'll just glue his hat down a little bit. I can't wait to show you the big gnome I make. It is one of the last ones. All of these, though, I think are neat and different ideas on ways to make gnomes. I won't be using any of the styrofoam, like trees or cylinders. I just glued that over to the side just a little bit there so that we have a spot for the pom-pom. Just want to wait for that glue to cool before you move on there. I think he's just about set. Okay, going to grab a little pom-pom. I got those at the Dollar Tree. There's, 3 or 4 different sizes in there. Wasn't sure if I needed the small one or the bigger one. I decided to go with the bigger one. And we'll just put that to the side of his hat. And I think he kind of looks like a Gnome Santa. Which one of these 3 ornaments are your favorite so far? Here's our next guy up. Okay, I just cut out the beard to fit this wood slice. So again, I'm not going to show you the whole thing there of me trimming it, but you do want to make sure, which way the fur is going. When I originally cut this, I had cut it to go another way and didn't double check which way the fur was laying. So I had to trim that up just a little bit. So this is just an odd shaped wood slice. It's not a nice circle. And I had bought it in a pack. And so I thought, this would make a nice Santa. It's a little bit longer. So these are those gloves that I had bought from Walmart. And, as I say, waste not, want not. We're going to continue to use this glove. So I'm going to trim it with just a little bit of the band so that it will lay right against there and kind of grab onto the wood slice. And originally I tried gluing that shut, and I'm like, well, why don't I just snip that off? I kind of was gluing all the fingers shut. Don't need to do that. So just snip off the thumb. Let that cool a sec. Flip it inside out. Oh, then I decided, whoops, I actually want to put a binder on this. So again, just one of those little hair ties. You could use clear or black. I had a multicolor pack. I just took that to the side. Oh, there we go. Just going to snip that even. I decided instead of doing that on the inside this time, I'm going to do it on, I started out doing it on the inside, and then I decided, wait a minute, I decided to do it on the outside. Because I thought that was cute, and I was going to do a pom-pom at the top. And then, what you could also do with the other glove tips, you could put a little band and on the inside, twist it around there to make it more of a pointy tip. But I started with it this way, and I ended up changing my mind. So I'll be interested also to know if you would have left it this way or if you like the way I end up changing it. I wanted to show you both ways just to give you a couple options. So this would be with the pom-pom. So we'll just put this on the outside instead of the inside. And it just makes it more of a natural stocking cap with a little bit of a ball up there. Okay, so now we'll attach the hat. I think this is another cute ornament. It's a little bit of a bigger ornament. Okay, got to do my hanger again. And that's just string. I bought that string, I think, at Walmart, just in their hardware section. And it's just a nice natural string. But again, you could use some matching yarn. You could use, one of those gold or silver, kind of like braided cording. All right, we'll get him a nose. Let's try to decide what size he needed. I just moved the fur a little bit. Put his dab of glue there. And also, when you cut your fur, you may want to take like a comb to it because often there is a bit of flyaways. So if you have like a container or something to brush it over, that way you don't make a mess of your craft area. Okay, so just getting his hat all in place. And I had that snowflake from a pack of snowflakes from Hobby Lobby. It's a great time to buy from Hobby Lobby. Most of their stuff is 60% off. And there he is. Isn't he adorable? I love that burgundy or maroon. Here's the next little guy we're going to make. I do hope by now you've given me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe. And if you hit the bell, it'll let you know each time I upload a new video. Okay, we started out with some yarn and wrapped around a book, about 35 times. I think I could have gone the short way around the book because I do trim off quite a bit and I couldn't remember which way I like to do it. Now, when you make these, we're making that stocking cap to start off. And when we're making that could be an ornament all on its own. I've made those as just ornaments as well, but I thought it would be so cute on our gnome. So I'll show that. And so I just cut that off of a toilet paper tube. If you wanted a little bit bigger, you could use a paper towel tube. They're a little bit thicker. And we're just going to do a little slip knot. So easy. And you just want to make sure that they're all going the same direction. This is a good one to just sit and do while you're watching TV. It's simple, but it takes a little bit of time. So just continue doing that, line them up. And I think it also just depends how much you bunch yours together on how many you need. So I just continue around, and of course I don't make you watch me do every strand. That would just be tedious and boring. So I'll kind of just show you here different times around this band and where I am. So now we're just getting to the end. And you can definitely, kind of move those around, see if they're too bunched up together or, how many more you need. But you just kind of finish that up and then just straighten them up. I probably had a few more than I needed. I got these real tight together this time, but probably could have spaced them out just a tiny bit. But I think it turns out so pretty and full. When you're making just a stocking caps, you could do a couple different colors. You could do a pattern. So many ways you could do these as well. Now we're just going to push all those up the opposite direction. So then it'll hide our knots and it'll give us a nice clean edge on both sides. Then you just want to straighten those out and then figure out how long you want your stocking cap to be. I've seen them much longer than I do, but this is about how I like them personally. And you could also string through, at this time, you could string through even an ornament hanger before you tie it. You could just slip a longer one through and run that all the way up. So just tie that nice and tight, and then that'll also just become part of your tassel so that it doesn't look funny at all. So just double knot it. And now we're just going to trim it down and make our nice little ball on top. So as you can see, I cut off quite a bit. I think I could have gone the other direction, but I guess I'd rather have a little bit extra than not enough. So now is when you kind of make this little ball how you'd like it. I kind of, start out with little haircuts and then I end up doing quite a bit more. And it's starting to come together here. I should have used my fabric scissors. I think that might have gone a little bit quicker. Okay, now I missed showing you, I just stuffed a little bit of polyfill. In the past, I've also used a cotton ball. That would work. That would also work for your gnomes. If you're in a pinch and you're like, I don't have polyfill. No problem. Grab a couple cotton balls and just kind of pull them apart. Now I just took a piece of packaging off of a Dollar Tree product, and I'm just going to put this up in the bottom of this cap. Now again, I just made another U shape, made another beard after I just lined it up and kind of measured my hat. So there he is. And then his nose. So we'll start off by gluing his nose down first. And make sure when you're getting ready to glue that on that you look at your hat and decide which side you like the best. Or not which side, kind of turn it to whatever area you think looks the prettiest. There we are. We'll just glue this in place. And you would think I would just move that yarn. I sit there and fight with it with a glue gun a couple of times. Silly me. Just hold it in place. Isn't he cute? Okay. So then I realized I didn't have my hanger, and that's why I told you earlier, but I fed it through the top. And now I'm going to feed it back down through. So I'm going through that stuffing and the tassel. And now I'm going to just leave it up there. And I'm just going to wrap it around the hat band. That will secure it so that it doesn't fall back through. And I just did that a few times, making sure that's secure. And now what I'll do is I'll tie a knot with the extra, and that'll be up inside the hat so you won't even see it. Now, I probably could have just put a little bit of glue to hold the stuffing in place, etc. But I just thought it would give us a nice finished look and that long-term hold by, making that little piece of cardboard to stuff up in there, and that it would hold the beard and everything in place over the years. Isn't he adorable? You could do different colored stocking caps. Again, you could make a whole set for someone. Here's our next one. Look at this cute napkin ring. Wouldn't that be fun for like Christmas Eve or a party? I used this ribbon that I found at Michael's. Right now they had it 60 or 70% off. So great deal. And it's super stiff. It almost reminds me of like a burlap. So I just glued that in place. Kind of a Scandinavian look to it. Just put a tiny bit of glue at the top, just making sure it wasn't going to move. And then I just want to cut that across. Now we're just making our little beard again. And do the nose. So super simple. And again, you could do this same thing and make this an ornament. You could string, your hanger right up through the top or glue it to the back. This could be an ornament all on its own. These would be fun for little door gifts or door prizes if you're having a Christmas party. They're just, all these gnome ornaments are so quick to make that you could sit down one evening and have enough for your friends and family or a party. Okay, I'm going to do this almost the same thing I did with the other one, except I'm going to glue it in reverse. So I'm gluing it down with the first side down so that I have a nice finished edge because I'll fold it back up. It was a little bit wider than what I needed. So when I glue that down after it sets, see, I can fold it back up. And that'll give us a nice finished pretty hat. Then you can just add your little dabs of glue to hold that down in place. I always take care to make sure that we've got that nose just about how we want it, because I think that's a bit of the character, that hat down around the nose all the time. Okay, so we're going to start with these are shower curtain rings. Get these at the Dollar Tree. I want to say there's 12 in a pack. I've used some already, but I'm just taking ribbon and I'm just going to string it around it. And this will just give it a nice, pretty finished look. If you've priced napkin rings out there, holy cow! They're $20, $25 for a nice, pretty set. So this would be another great gift. You could give a set of 4 or a set of 6 to a hostess if you're going to their home. It would be a wonderful gift. I just think that this year, with finances the way they are, inflation the way it is, some inexpensive gifts that have a high-end look will go a long ways. I apologize, a little bit off camera there. Okay, now I'm just going to take a little piece of wire and I'm going to attach it. I thought this would give us the sturdiest effect. So I strung it through the back of the gnome, and now I'm going to wrap it around and kind of crisscross them here. Then I just kind of press them down with my scissors. You don't want any sharp edges for anyone, and then just wrap a little bit of ribbon around that to give us a nice finished edge. There we are. Isn't that cute? Okay, I think this guy's just about my favorite. Isn't he adorable? Okay, you start out with these socks from Target. They are lined and they are $5, so it's a little bit of an investment, but you get 2 gnomes out of the set. So not super expensive. $2.50 a gnome, and then a little bit of rice and a bead. So affordable when you look at what these do cost. So I thought this would be a cute one. They have several different styles. Okay, so I'm going to just make sure everything's set in the toe and then fold it over a little bit, and I'm going to put in some rice. This was rice at the Dollar Tree. I was thinking, oh goodness, I don't even think I have any rice right now. So I grabbed it at the Dollar Tree. Just scoop it in there and then kind of bounce it down. So you can decide how much you want. If you want it just at the bottom and you want more polyfill in there, that's truly up to you. You could use weighted beads. You could use those little white rocks that you can get at Dollar Tree. So definitely there's other ways to do it. I put a little bit of the polyfill at the top. Just stuff that till it makes you happy. Now to close this off, you could use some of that string and tie it off. You could use a rubber band. You could use a rubber band on the inside and then on the outside. I decided to just kind of form it, and then I used a stronger rubber band around it. And now I just flipped this inside out, and we're going to do the side that we cut, and we're going to tuck those in all together, kind of an in and out motion sort of there. And now we're going to put another rubber band around this. Now that gives us a nice finished hat. And as you can see, when it does flip upside down, actually looks like trees at the top, above his rim. And so I measured this to about 3.5 by 4 inches, and made a U bottom. Just gluing that in there. Realized I didn't make any gnomes with mustaches this time. Usually I give them a little bit of a mustache. So you, again, would just take 2 tiny little snips and glue it, just each side underneath the nose, facing outward more. Okay, we're going to give him a big old nose. So this is my largest bead, I think, out of that package. And just hold it until that glue starts to set and cool. Now we're going to bring this hat in here. Now you can decide, do you want polyfill in that? Do you want it slouched? How do you want your hat to sit? I didn't want it so, cylinder looking, so kind of trying to figure that out. Glued the back down a little bit. Oh, I was going to show you, if you end up using cheaper socks, they do have those like furry, I guess it'd be kind of like a scarf or a neck wrap at the Dollar Tree. I found those the other day. So if you ended up using like Dollar Tree socks instead, you could maybe use that for the brim of your hat. All right, so we're just going to bring this down over his nose. Isn't he adorable? You could put a little bit of polyfill in under the rim of that hat if you want a little bit fuller. I did that just a little bit in the front there. Just tucking it. Then gluing this down. And now we'll put a blob of glue and put a pom-pom. I found those pom-poms at Michael's for, I want to say they're around $3 or so. Isn't he sweet? Look at that. You can make him in under 10 minutes. What a wonderful gift. Again, I hope you've enjoyed. You've given me a thumbs up. You've subscribed to see what else I have. Check out some of my other videos I have out. Here's a couple that you might enjoy. I do hope that you'll take some time for you to craft and have a blessed day. Thank you so very much.